Last week we posted a video on our FireTube using a piece of cotton and some tube. We created a fire inside of this tube using this piston. A lot of you guys had some questions, comments, wanted to see the video in slow motion and stuff like that, so we're back to readdress that issue. On our tube here, what we did last week, for those who didn't see the video, we opened the tube up, we put a piece of cotton down inside this tube with simple air inside there, put the valve on, and when we increased the pressure, the temperature went up. Okay, that's a basic physics principle that you were taught in your open water class or higher. When we did this, that increased temperature reached high enough to burn the cotton inside of here. Now, cotton normally burns around 450 degrees Fahrenheit. So the temperature inside this tube had to get above 450 degrees Fahrenheit for that to occur. This is important in scuba diving because if we don't properly select our gear, maintain our gear, and get correct fills for our equipment, we can cause all kinds of problems. So what we've done is we've created this video in slow motion of us using the same device, and you'll be able to see this fire occur from us simply pressing that plunger down with enough force to increase the temperature. So we'll watch the video here and we'll talk a bit more about it. All right, so you guys saw the video, slow motion, you saw that fire ignite in there and burn that cotton. The fire would burn until that cotton is, until the oxygen is used up inside of that tube. The same thing can happen in a couple pieces of your scuba gear. Anywhere where we have high pressure gas moving into a low pressure area and that pressure increasing, we're going to see a change in temperature. That change in temperature can occur in your scuba valve, your first stage, or even possibly your second stage. Not as common, but it still can occur. Our valves and our first stages both deal with high pressure gases, 3,000 plus pressure when we're starting our dive off. And that increased pressure can cause a lot of heat, as we've already determined. You can also show this by holding onto your high pressure hose. When you turn your tank on, you feel that hose get very, very, very warm very quickly. And you saw in that slow motion video that fire can cause all kinds of problems. Now, imagine you're diving this in a high O2 environment with nitrox or other pure O2 with a decompression diver or a rebreather. Anywhere you deal with this high pressure O2, this is there and can occur. When this happens, there's obviously injury can occur, damage to you, and it can cause all kinds of problems. To avoid this, okay, people are asking, how do I get this to not happen to me? Using the proper gear. Getting gear that's rated for the gases that you're using. There are some regulators out there that are made with titanium and other exotic metals that when they're exposed to high temperatures, high pressures can cause fire, okay? Those companies that make those usually have some type of warning on the boxes as well as design regulators that are used for higher O2 concentrations. The other thing is proper care. You want to get your gear serviced from a proper location, a proper gear service location, a dealer for that gear. When they do that, they're going to rebuild this rig and they're going to use O2 compatible materials, okay, and O2 compatible lubricants. By doing that, you're going to reduce the risk of fire because those items do not burn as readily as the other stuff that can. We're also making sure we're replacing it with O-rings and everything that are rated for that temperature, that pressure, and things like that. One of the things that can happen if you use not the proper O-ring inside of a first stage or regulator or valve or anything like that, that oxygen in an enriched environment like nitrox or something like that can degrade that O-ring and cause problems. The other thing is when you open your valves, open valves slowly as possible. The slower you can open a valve, the better off you're going to be. That's going to reduce the risk of that heat generating as quickly. So slowly opening valves. Also, when you're getting your tanks filled, make sure you're getting them filled from a proper dive shop that does air quality control, that knows what they're doing and using proper lubricants on their compressor, because they can contaminate your system that could lead to items being inside this regulator that could support combustion. Oxygen itself does not burn, but oxygen supports combustion, meaning it's going to help whatever's inside that regulator burn at a lower rate. So we were to do that same experiment with this FireTube that you guys saw. We did in pure O2, it would be a much larger reaction, much quicker with less force being required. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. We're happy to answer, and stay tuned for some more awesome videos. Thank you.